Okay, everybody. Hello, I'm Aaron from Solace. I'm here today to kind of give you a quick overview, a quick crash course on the IntelliJ plugin that I've written for the Event Portal 2.0. As part of our groups working to build a lot of integrations using the new EP 2.0 API. Right, here is IntelliJ by JetBeans, arguably the world's most popular Java IDE, although I'm still an Eclipse user. And yeah, I've written a plugin to pull Event Portal data. Now, if you're not that familiar with, or even if you are familiar with IntelliJ, all of these little tabs here on the left are plugins. A lot of them come built into the browser by default. But you'll notice here I have a little button called the Event Portal plugin. So it's all very extensible, and you can just go ahead and download plugins and add them to your IntelliJ. Now, at the time of this recording, it's not yet available on the marketplace, but if you want to get it and try it yourself, all you need to do is head over to Solace Labs, or GitHub Solace Labs, search for IntelliJ. Oh, I was already searching for it there. IntelliJ plugin. Click on that. Literally just clone the repo, download it, and then it uses Gradle to build everything. You don't have to install Gradle. You just need a Java compiler, Javac, of at least version 11. And yeah, that'll make a zip file that you just then go and import into IntelliJ. You go settings, preferences, and I'll show you how to do it. Basically import the plugin. So click on this little gear, go into plugins. You're going to click on this little gear here, say install plugin from disk, navigate to wherever it is, and then restart, and off you go. You'll notice there's a nice little cool custom graphic here with the version once you've got it loaded up. Now, before you can actually view any Event Portal data, you have to generate an API token if you haven't already. So if you don't know how to do that, head over to your Solace Cloud console, click on the little person down at the bottom, and then token management. So I am going to just, yeah, as you can see, you just need read-only data for my plugin. It doesn't do any updates or creations on the portal, so you just need read-only access. So we can make another read only demo. Why is my typing going so slow? So you need, might as well just make read of everything. I forget exactly what I need. It's mostly the Event Portal data. I don't think I actually need to do any cloud services. This would be like starting brokers and looking at services. Not starting brokers if we're doing read only. But yeah, definitely the Event Portal 2.0 designer, you need read access for that. So this is kind of a smart roll up that goes through here and kind of makes anything that's read only. It'll work obviously if you do a read write, but I don't actually do any writing. Read only for this. There's also somewhere buried in here is users. There it is, account management. I might want read only. I do actually view the users. So like when you like view who created an event or a schema, you can actually see the name. This is what's needed. So yeah, that's about it. Create the token. There it is, and copy the token into your clipboard, and off you go. Right? Oh, there it is. I'm going to delete this, so even if people see it, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's my token. All you have to do is head up to that little gear icon there, go into the settings, down on the bottom left here, go into tools, and you should have a Solace Event Portal if you've installed the plugin. And this is where you cut and paste your token into. So cut and paste it into there. The URL for web access, if you're a Solace employee, you'll probably be using solace.sso.solace.cloud. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's api.solace.cloud for public people. The date format preference by default is relative. So that's kind of like GitHub style, like a month ago, a week ago, a day ago. Or you can use casual, which is like, July 1st, or timestamp, which is more of a timestamp thing. So, all right. So once that is done, all you have to do then is click this little play button, and it'll go off and load all the data it can see from the org, whichever org that your token belongs to, here into the plugin. So there are different tabs for different views, so that should be kind of fairly familiar for people. There's an application-centric view, there's an event-centric view, schemas, event APIs, event API products. Now I wanted to have it in a tabular view to kind of have nice columns, but I also wanted to make it look more like a tree. So this is actually a table that acts like a tree. So as you kind of on this first column here, if you click on a name, it'll expand and you'll drill down into the different levels. So you can see for a particular app, there's different versions. For a particular version, what are the topics that it publishes and subscribes on? For that particular event, which schemas does it use, for example? The colors, by the way, these are all kind of chosen from IntelliJ kind of plugin GUI standards, so that's why they don't look very Solace-y. Yeah, I made some custom plugins. On the left here are some control buttons. This expand and next essentially says everything that's not open, kind of just open one more level, so you can kind of like expand everything out here, so you can see kind of the full thing, or collapse all, that kind of resets everything back to the kind of the bottom view, kind of rolls everything up. Now you can view everything by domain, again, similar to the event portal. So if you kind of like want to focus on a particular domain, say this one, retail facilities, you can click on that. Double clicking on anything should expand it all the way out. So if you just want to look in a domain, or instead of by domain, you want to look across all of your domains, view all of the applications alphabetically, you can do that as well. And that'll work for anything, right? So I'm in the events, I can either look at the events specifically, or I can switch it to kind of across all the domains, application domains, view the events. You'll notice that, some, I don't know, I guess custom icons that I've made. For example, like on these events, this is a sub event, so there's a little, it's shaded in halfway there. Here's a pub event, so it's shaded in on the right. This is a event that's published and subscribed by this Kafka event, so it's kind of both. My little pink triangle is the schema. You'll notice this guy has a P on it because it's a primitive schema. So I grab all this data from the event portal. So a little, just like kind of, it's helped to give you visual reference for what you're looking at. I also grab the state information that's there and give it a bit of color coding. Obviously, I have a column for the topics, since topics are kind of central to Solace applications and whatnot. I wanted to make that kind of fairly prominent so you can really see the topic that things are publishing on. And again, I wanted to make it all kind of nested inside one tabular view. So I really find browsing the data that's in your event portal quite easy with this. Now, if you click on the second column, you'll notice this little arrow icon here. That actually links it out into the event portal itself. This is not meant to like replace the portal. I can't show all of the information that the portal has in this table. For example, descriptions are quite long. But if you click on any one of these, so let's click on this guy, this version event schema. By the way, for those that are not that familiar with the new EP 2.0 portal yet, versioning is like the big thing, right? So everything has a version. Every app, every schema, every event, all have versions. In fact, the kind of the parent object, the event or the schema, really is kind of like almost an empty superclass or an interface almost. It just has a name, and it's all of the versions that are underneath it that kind of have all the actual kind of content, the meat, right? The topic or the payload or the schema itself. So you can see that I clicked on that and I can go directly into the event portal here. Or I could have, let's click on, for example, maybe this version event here. And same kind of thing. I build the URLs based on the kind of the IDs that are part of that object, and so you can go and view that information directly here in the portal. So different ways of kind of double checking or kind of just being able to link back and forth between the data. Now, so I've shown you that. I've shown you that. You'll notice on the right here, this right-hand column, there's a View Schema button. So there's different types of schemas you can, let me just go up to my domain because I know that stuff best. Let me open up that, double click, come on. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I can view the schemas here. So if you're looking at a schema object, you can view that. So this is a JSON schema, so it's going to format that correctly. And this is again just pulling the data back from the event portal. I can close that. You'll notice that some of the apps actually have a View Async API. So again, this is provided by the portal. Here's my little person notifier app that is publishing and subscribing on this these person notified and person generating a person arrived event. So it's basically a little microservice that listens to when an event occurs, when somebody's been arrived somewhere, and then we're going to notify them. So you can actually view the AsyncAPI schema as well. Now, if your event or your application does not conform to the AsyncAPI schema, for example, you're using XML payload, which AsyncAPI does not work with yet, you can't do this. Or if some of your schemas are not provided, this is probably going to fail. But if you're using kind of AsyncAPI spec apps, you should be able to grab this. And then from there, you can either, you can cut and paste this. You can edit this if you really wanted to. Like you want to tweak it a little bit. But you can go directly into code generation. So AsyncAPI, they've actually exposed their generator as a REST interface. So you don't actually have to download the compiler anymore. And so I have built a little GUI here. You can choose, I'm going to use the Spring Cloud Stream for Java. I'm probably going to extend this. Choose the binder that you're using. So we're going to use Solace. You can change some details here where it's going to be downloaded to. Just my downloads is fine. Click on generate. It's going to go off and pull down a zip file, expand it, and then I can actually open it directly right from here. So you can browse the portal, click on that AsyncAPI button, generate some code, and it's going to load it up here. And this is the description from my my app that it pulled out of the portal. It's built me some nice little README here. And if you don't know much about Spring Cloud Streams, you can. This is the app that it's going to run. The application YAML file is kind of where it's all connecting to, and by default, I've just got kind of the local host browser, right? So if you're collecting to Solace Cloud, all you got to do is change this host to Solace Cloud. But I actually do have a broker running locally, and I do have a little test publisher running. So I can literally click on this application, right-click on it, say run it, and this is going to go ahead and build. I think it uses Maven or Ant. Look at that, maybe. Goes ahead and builds my Spring Cloud Stream application. Then it's going to kick it off. You'll see the kind of big Spring banner there. Get started, loads the beans, and then without doing anything, there we go. It's already listening to my data that I am publishing on my little test broker here running locally. And again, yeah, if you had some test data running in the cloud, you could just change that application YAML file and run it in the cloud. So there you go, a real quick, short and sharp demo on the Solace Event Portal, how you can go from browsing to coding in, well, quite quickly, I think. So hopefully this will give some good demos to customers. If you have any comments or anything or bugs, I mean, you'll probably find some bugs. I've tested this thing quite a bit, but not completely. Please let me know. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.